In this session, we will understand the concept of Western bridge network circuit. It is sometimes called as resistance bridge or meter bridge also. It was first invented by Samuel Christie in 1833. Later on, it was popularized by Sir Charles Weston, and hence it is well known in the name of Western, that is Western bridge network circuit. Western bridge network circuit usually consists of four resistances, that is R1, R2, R3 and R4. We also need a galvanometer and a battery for an EMF to the circuit. Western bridge network circuit is used to find out the unknown resistance of a given resistor using null deflection method. What is null deflection method? In this circuit, if you see, there will be a flow of current in the galvanometer. When there is a flow of current in the galvanometer, it is considered as unbalanced condition. That is the normal condition. But in balanced condition, the current flows in such a way that the current does not flow through the galvanometer, and hence this at the point when the galvanometer, there is no flow of current through the galvanometer, that is called as null deflection, zero current through the galvanometer, and that condition is known as balanced condition. So we will achieve balanced condition in the Western bridge network circuit so that we can find out the unknown resistance. To understand the theory of Western bridge, we will apply Kirchhoff's first and second law. According to Kirchhoff's first law, the total input which is supplied to the current, that to the circuit, that should be equal to the total output current. By applying a Kirchhoff law, first law, we will draw the directions of the current, and they are like this. Let the current I flow from the, that is current I be drawn from the battery E. At terminal A, the current gets divided into two parts, that is I1 and I2. So there is a flow of current I1 through R1 and current I2 through R3. I1, when it reaches to B, again it gets divided into two parts. Let the current that flows through the galvanometer be called as Ig. So from I1 current, Ig current flows through the galvanometer. So the difference of the two current that will be flowing through the resistance R2, that is equal to I1 minus Ig. So now you can see from the galvanometer the current that is coming, that is Ig, from the resistance R3, that is equal to I2. So at point junction D, the I2 and Ig will add up, and that current will flow through the R4, that is I2 plus Ig. So at point C, the current I1 plus Ig is coming from R2, from R4 that is flowing, that is I2 plus Ig. So the total current that will come out from C will be equal to I1 minus Ig plus I2 plus Ig, and that is equal to I1 plus I2, which is equal to I over here. So using Kirchhoff's first law, we have drawn the directions of the current in the circuit. Now we will apply Kirchhoff's second law by taking two closed loops. One of the closed loop is A, B, D, A. Another closed loop which we will take, that is B, C, D, B. We will apply a closed loop in A, B, D, A, and find out the equation, that is for a closed loop A, B, D, A. As you move from A to B, the direction of the current is also in the same direction. So I will write down equation that is equal to I1 R1. Across BD, the current is again in the same direction, that will be equal to plus Ig into Rg. Rg is the resistance of the galvanometer, and from D to A, the current direction is in reverse direction. So I will write down minus I2 into R3, that is equal to 0. For a closed loop D, C, D, B, the current is in the same direction along BC. So equation will be plus I1 minus Ig into R2. Along CD, it will be minus I2 plus Ig into R4, and along DA, again the current is in reverse direction, so I will write down minus Ig into Rg, that is equal to 0. So by using Kirchhoff's second law, we will get the two equations, that is equation 1 and 2 over here using a closed loop. Now to achieve a balanced condition, let the potential at B be equal to D. Means at point B and D the potentials are same. In that condition, the potential difference between the two will be equal to 0, and potential difference between B and D is Ig into Rg, that is equal to 0. Resistance of the galvanometer can never be 0, therefore from this we will get Ig, that is equal to 0. So when Ig, if I put the value of Ig equal to 0 in equation 1 and 2, the equation 1 becomes I1 R1 equal to I2 R3 because Ig equal to 0. And in equation 2, it will become I1 R2, that is equal to I2 R4. If I take the ratio of 3 and 4, the equation becomes R1 by R2, that is equal to R3 by R4. So if R1 is unknown resistance for us, then by knowing the value of R2, R3 and R4, we can find out the unknown resistance of the resistor using Wheatstone bridge network circuit. This equation can be used only under balanced condition, that is when the galvanometer current is 0. It means the galvanometer should show the null deflection method. Let us now understand the application of Wheatstone bridge network circuit. This is the circuit diagram of meter bridge, which consists of a metal strip. This metal strip is usually made up of copper or brass for a good, as they are good conductor of electricity, so that you can get a proper electrical contacts. There is a X, which is the resistance box which is connected between the two terminals A and B. We want to find out the value of this resistance using Wheatstone bridge principle. So if I compare these two circuit diagrams, then X over here represents our R1 that is connected between A and B terminal. This is the resistance box RB, from which we can take the value of resistance of our required value. It is one type of a variable resistor which is connected between B and C over here. So if I compare these two circuit diagrams, RB represents R2 between B and C. Instead of R3 and R4 in this circuit, we have taken a 100 centimeter wire, that is a meter wire of 100 centimeter, having a uniform cross sectional area. This, between A and C, we have connected a battery for supplying an EMF to the circuit. There is a scale that is of 0 to 100 centimeter which is connected across near the meter wire. Now, as in earlier I have explained that under balanced condition, the resistance R1 upon R2 should be equal to R3 by R4. This can be achieved only when the galvanometer shows the null deflection. Null deflection means there is no flow of current to the galvanometer. At that point, the potential at B and D is same. Under that condition, the ratio of R1 and R2 will be equal to the R3 by R4. This we want to achieve over here to find out the unknown resistance value of X. So over here, R1 can be represented as R2 into R3 upon R4. So we will use this principle in Western meter bridge. So instead of R1 I will write down X, that is equal to, instead of R2 as I said it is RB into R3 upon R4. Now you can see also there is a galvanometer connected whose one end is fixed at point B and another end is movable, and it is connected to jockey with slides on the meter wire. That is adjustable. Now, when I move this galvanometer towards the left part of the wire, or when I slide this jockey on the left part of the wire, then the galvanometer will show the deflection. That means it is in unbalanced condition. If I move towards the right, it will again show the current in the galvanometer, and therefore again it is in unbalanced condition. It means there will be one point between A and C where the galvanometer will show the null deflection. It means the galvanometer current will be 0. At that condition, or that condition is known as balance condition, and at that balance condition we can find out the value of unknown resistance. At that point, the ratio of X and RB will be equal to ratio of ED resistance divided by DC resistance. Now what will be the value of AD resistance? See the length, the point at which you will get the null deflection. We can find out the length of that wire between A and D. Similarly, between D and C also you can calculate, as the length of the wire is 100 centimeters, so between D and C it will be 100 minus L. We also know that resistance R can be also represented in terms of length, that is rho L upon A, where rho is the resistivity and A is the area of the cross section of the wire. Using this equation in this formula, we get X is equal to RB into, instead of R3 I will write down rho L. L is the length of the wire between A and D upon A, divided by, instead of R4 I will write down rho into 100 minus L upon A. As the resistivity of the whole wire is same, area of the cross section is also same, so this can be neglected, and the final equation becomes RB is equal into RB into L upon 100 minus L. So by knowing the value of L and the value of resistance box RB, we can calculate the value of X. Let me give one example of it. Let us say we have adjusted the value of RB as 10 ohms. So the value of RB is fixed, that is 10 ohms. Now when I move this jockey, or when I slide this jockey on a wire, if the length of the wire, the galvanometer shows the null deflection at the length L is equal to 40 centimeter, then the value of X becomes equal to 10 into 40 divided by 60, that comes out to be equal to 40 divided by 6, that is around 6.66 ohms. That means the value of unknown resistance of X is 6.66 ohms, which we have calculated using the principle of Western bridge. This is the experimental setup of Western bridge network circuit. It consists of a meter bridge where there is a 100 centimeter wire of uniform cross-sectional area, and its two ends are connected to the L-shaped metal strips. These metal strips are usually made up of brass or copper so that you can get the proper electrical contacts. There is a meter scale through which we will find out the length. From that we will get the resistance value. There is a unknown resistance box whose resistance we want to find it out using this Western bridge. There is a galvanometer where the two ends, you can see in this there is a 30 divisions on both the sides and 0 at the center, and the pointer is pointing at the 0. There is a battery from which we will get the EMF, which has to be required for this electrical connections for this circuit. Then there is a resistance box. You can see there are the pins on this resistance box. Whenever I remove one of the pins from this resistance box, the value which is written adjacent to it will give us the output of this resistance box. This is the rheostat through which we can control the current or EMF. Now, after connecting this unknown resistance box, the galvanometer's one end is connected to the fixed part of the metal strip, and the galvanometer's another end is connected to the device which is called as jockey, which will slide on this wire to get the length. So, to start with, let us first of all remove the pin from the resistance box so that you get the output as 10 ohms. Touch this jockey at one end of the metal strip. You will see that galvanometer shows the deflection towards the left side. Now touch the galvanometer towards the another end. You will see the galvanometer shows the deflection towards the right side. That means that if the galvanometer shows the deflection on both the sides, it means that the electrical connections done are proper. Now we can take the readings. As it is showing the deflection on both the sides, it means that there will be a null deflection on the galvanometer somewhere between the two ends of the wire. So slide this jockey and see where the galvanometer shows the null deflection. As you can see, when you move towards the right side, the galvanometer is showing the deflection towards the right side, and slightly when I move towards the left, the galvanometer is showing the deflection towards the left. That means somewhere around here the galvanometer shows the deflection that is equal to null deflection. So the length at which the galvanometer shows the null deflection is around 67 centimeter. So for 10 ohm of the resistance box, the galvanometer shows the null deflection at 67 centimeter. Now, from this you can calculate the value of unknown resistance, that is X, using the formula that is equal to R into L upon 100 minus L. That if you put the value of L, you can calculate the value of X. But from one reading you cannot get the exact value, you cannot predict the exact value of the unknown resistance. So now I will vary the value of the resistance box and take the value of resistance that is equal to 15 ohms. Again, I will slide this jockey on this meter bridge wire and see where the null deflection comes. As you can see, when I move, it moves from right towards the left, and somewhere over here it shows the null deflection. That is, if you notice on the scale, it shows the null deflection at 57 centimeter. So for 15 centimeter, the null deflection is around 57 centimeter. Again, repeat the experiment for 20 ohms. So put this pin inside it, remove a 20 ohm value, repeat the experiment and find out the null deflection. It comes around 49, 50. So the null deflection is around 50 centimeter at 20 ohm output of the resistance box. So for 10 ohm, 15 ohm and 20 ohm of the resistance box, we have found out the respective lengths on the meter bridge using a jockey, where the length at which the null deflection is seen. Same experiment we can repeat for another resistance box also. Remove the connections, connect another resistance box and call it as X2. Make the proper connections so that there is no loose connection into it. Again check whether there is a deflection on both the sides. Repeat the experiment again for the value of 10 ohm, 15 ohm and 20 ohm of the resistance box and find out the respective lengths of it. We can also find the resistance when the two boxes are connected in series with it. So, how we will do it? Connect the two resistors in this way. Take another wire, join the two wires like this. So the box like this through a wire. This connection is called as series connection of the two resistors. Same, you can find out the series value of the two resistors using this distinguished network circuit. We will take the values of 10 resistance boxes 10, 15 and 20 ohm and find out the respective lengths of it, from which we will get the total resistance of this series resistance. Similarly, we can also perform an experiment for a parallel connection of the resistors, and the connections are like this. Take two wires. So this is the parallel connection of the two resistors. You can see from this point there are two wires which are coming out connections. One is connected over here, another is connected over here. Similarly, from this the one wire is connected over here, another is connected over here. So this is the parallel connection, and for this also you can find out the value of this parallel connection resistance by taking the value of resistance boxes 10, 15 and 20 and finding out the respective lengths of it.